here with my Week 4 matchup against Shattered Simisear of the Tampa Bay Luxray. Now, Shattered Simisear has a team of Jirachi, Florges, Blastoise, Virizion, Rhydon, Simisear, Mega Bayonet, Thundurus Incarnate, Nidoqueen, Kyurem, and Licky Licky, and is currently 2-1. He got his first loss last week against Glasswings, or Rice of Chalceel. Now, a couple of things when looking at his team. He's got a very, very strong Dragon Fairy Steel core and Jirachi, Florges, which isn't the most threatening but is very, very bulky and can be hard to take down, and Kyurem, which has the secondary ice type. He also has a slightly less good Firewater Grass Claw in Blastoise for his Simisear, but he's got quite a few very, very good mons on his team. He hasn't really got a bad one, except perhaps for Rhydon, but having played Rhydon quite extensively in NU, it can be quite threatening with the double dance set, and also can be very, very bulky, particularly physically, due to the access he gets on top of a base sort of 120 defense, I believe. So because of that, I've kind of got I'm not really sure 100% what he's going to bring against me, because he has so many mons. A couple of things which I do think are coming are the Jirachi, most likely, because it's just so versatile. His only hazard removal is the Blastoise, and he's brought that every week. So he's brought Fizz Def, Rapid Spin, Blastoise every week so far. Would not be surprised to see it come again. Thunderous Eye and Mega Bayonet, I wouldn't be surprised to see. I kind of expect to see the Nidoqueen and Kyurem. Lead Nido with Rock's free attacks is quite scary for my team. It does very well against both my default, because it can come in against them. Well, not Flygon necessarily, but it can take both of them on fairly well, and really, really is very, very threatening due to the Life Orb sheer force damage. Kyurem, the Kyurem, he has his regular form here, so base 95 speed, split 130 offences, and that stab, ice and dragon. And I have quite a few ice weaknesses on my team, with Zapdos, Flygon, Goodra, Tangler, Tornadus Eye, so it's something which I definitely expect to come, even if he hasn't brought it yet this season, I don't think. So we're going to hop into the team builder, and first things first, we have me Mega Aggron, and this is a bit of a funky set. Basically, the idea is that his potential leads are potentially the Rhydon, potentially the Nidoqueen for rocks, and potentially the Jirachi. This takes on all three of them pretty well, unless he's running a really fast Nidoqueen. He does not outspeed. I can outspeed and get off a Magnet Rise, and when I've got up the Magnet Rise, he won't really be able to touch me, and I can get rocks up for free. And rocks are really nice to have against his team. I don't think you'll see Magnet Rise coming, and to be honest, if I do lead this off and he leads straight out with Nidoqueen, he will probably rocks as opposed to Earth Power first turn, because the switch into Dr. Orpheus on this team is pretty obvious. So I expect, or even Goodra, Spadef Goodra is pretty obvious. So I expect that I should be able to get Magnet Rise up, get rocks up, and then Iron Head plus Earthquake. Gives me neutral coverage for everything on his team except the Thunderous Eye, but I don't really want to be staying in on that anyway. Earthquake is there instead of Toxic, so I can hit the Jirachi for super effective. Florges is 2-hit KO by an Iron Head, and so is Kyurem. Again, if I can get up a Magnet Rise, this thing pretty much walls, because it takes both stabs from the Kyurem Black, and outside of it packing Focus Blast, which is probably unlikely, it does a really, really good job of taking anything it can throw at it. So yeah, this is my dedicated lead. I want to get rocks up, because his hazard removal is Blastoise, and Blastoise is set up fodder for this. Now this is pretty standard. Tail Glow, 3 attacks, Manaphy. It's got enough speed on it to outspeed the Kyurem, unless it's Scarf. I haven't bothered to go fully, because that means I haven't bothered to make sure that I outspeed the Jirachi. Obviously, Special Jirachi might be able to take on Aggron fairly well, but I don't think he'll lead with a Calm Mind Jirachi. I'd be quite surprised if he does, and I think I have other ways of dealing with it. Now this set, I have Surf. Surf of a Skull just because it gives me a bit of an extra power and ensures I OHKO a couple of stuff, a few more things at +3. I have Energy Ball, which is there to take on the Blastoise. This is my best answer for Blastoise. It sets up on its face and can scare it out. And Dazzling Gleam is there because that it's super effective against Vacuum and for Virizion instead of just Ice Beam, because Ice Beam is a bit stronger and does OHKO for Virizion at +3, but it isn't super effective on Vacuum, which can otherwise really chunk me of an outrage. And also Fund Eye, which is his primary response to this, which is why I have a Wakam Berry, is killed by a Tailglow Surf at +3. That's why I'm running Surf over Scald, and it means I don't have to run Ice Beam to deal with that, even after Rocks. And Wakam Berry means I can take any electric type hit from that, even like a Banded Wild Charge or something, or like a Specs T-Bolt. Won't be able to take it massively well, but I will be able to take that, and will be able to take out one of the big threats on his team. Now, into Wide Well, this is my special war this week. Again, talking about the Thunderous Eye, it takes on the Queen pretty well. Draco Meteor really chunks it. I'm running E-Belt, and again, if you bring Special Virizion, which I think you might to deal with the Mega Aggron, this thing walls it so easily. So I don't. If he brings Virizion, I only foresee it being special. I don't entirely expect he's going to bring it. I expect slightly more to see the Simisear. But here we have Wide Whale special. I've got 2 points in speed just in case he tries to speed creep Nidoqueen, or something like Rhydon or Florges, or even Licky. But I don't. Again, that's not a huge issue for me. Sludge Bomb is to 2-hit KO the Florges, with the E-Belt. That's why I'm running E-Belt over Assault Vest. T-Bolt, I think 2-hit KO Blastoise is my secondary answer to it. Fire Blast is there to take on the Jirachi. E-Belt means that I 2-hit KO Spadef Jirachi with Fire Blast, and Draco Meteor is there to stab. And if he doesn't have the Florges and the Jirachi, or if they're gone, it will just absolutely nuke something. It's coming off base 110 attack, and as we showed last week, it completely OHKO'd that Sand Slash, and it's just something which is very very hard to switch into, particularly when you've got coverage for its 2 main defensive answers. It also OHKO's Thunderous Eye after Rocks, which is again quite a nice thing to be able to do. Now, one thing I am worried about is Mega Bayonet. Particularly, I don't have the best of answers for it, so I am running a very very special set this week. I'm running Assault Vest, physically mixed bulky Emboar. Now, Emboar's got base 1, 2, 3 reckless, so even with only the 8 investment, it will still hit really really hard with Flare Blitz. Sucker Punch is nice just to get a bit of chip damage off something with outspeeds, and Superpower is there to nail the Licky, nail the Curum, and there's other stuff like it means the Rhydon can't switch in for free. Flare Blitz over Heat Crash this week, despite the recoil, because it means that I can OHKO for Virizion as opposed to the Jirachi. The reason I've got bringing this is because I really want a Will-O-Wisp switch in on the Mega Bayonet, and with the bulk investment, it means that I can take sort of any sort of attack which it'll go for, be that like a resist. I resist for knockoff. In effect, this thing hard walls Mega Bayonet, and I can trade it more or less for that. He may try and switch in Rhydon, which is why I've got Grass Knot and why I've got a minus speed nature. Rhydon, if he's an offensive Rhydon, he doesn't OHKO me from full, and Grass Knot will OHKO him in revenge. If he's Spadef, I will outspeed, and Grass Knot will 2-hit KO, and again he can't OHKO me with Earthquake. So it takes that on really really well. It takes on Jirachi really well because it's just got fantastic bulk with that base HP stat. reaches 250 on both defences, so it needs a really, really strong hit to take it down. Can take on Mercurium, more or less, as long as it's basic. There's not much on his team which can deal with it, apart from Blastoise, when it's towards full, and Manida Queen. But as long as I keep it careful from Manida Queen and keep it towards full health, it can basically take on anything individually on his team, which is really nice to have. Same with Wide Well. It's as long as he doesn't get up T-Spikes, which I'm a tad worried about, particularly as I don't have hazard removal. But if he does put up T-Spikes, then I just have to play really aggressively to deal with his threats. Again, this takes on a Thunderous Eye, can take a T-Wave without too much of an issue, but hopefully the Thunderous Eye should be baited out sooner rather than later. Basically my plan for the early game is leave with Mega Aggron, get up rocks. He'll probably try and go to Blastoise to spin / Scald, which means this can set up, and he will then try and go into Thunderous Eye. I can effectively trade this for Thunderous Eye, and then after that the only thing which guaranteed outspeeds is the Virizion, which might not come. If it does come, this is a reliable switch, this is a reliable switch for special, and this is also a reliable switch in, and so's Mega Aggron, if that's still around. So I've got, sorry about that, I've got answers to Virizion, so I wouldn't be too surprised if it doesn't come. Either way, so the only thing apart from Virizion which can revenge me is a random Scarfer, or Scarf Kyurem, which I'm slightly worried about, Mega Bayonet, or Mega Bayonet, but the Mega Bayonet has to revenge me for a trade. I think depending on whether he's Life Orb or not on the Thunderous, I might be able to take a Thunderbolt and then a priority move from the Mega Bayonet and kill it with a Surf. But anyway, now into my two Wincons. This is not really, I'm not really reusing this as a Wincon. I'm going to try and use it to blow holes in his team and remove the potential counters for this. It is Tauros, it is coming first week. Now, it will 2-hit KO everything on his team except Spadef Blastoise, and the only things which can take it on are the Mega Bayonet, because it can Prankster Burn it, and the Thunderous Eye, because it can outspeed, and it's the only other thing which will outspeed, and aside from potential Scarfers, and the Thunderous Eye, potentially with like a Focus Blast or a T-Bolt. The idea is that I clear a couple of them with my Manaphy and my Emboar, and that hopefully allows me to basically sweep the rest of his team. Speed investment is so that I outspeed Virizion and don't waste any other EVs. Thunderous Eye will not outspeed me unless he's timid, so if he was timid he'd be running timid max speed to ensure he outsped me. Surf is there because it 2-hit KOs non-Spadef Rhydon, and means otherwise it will just very easily wall me. Earthquake is for Jirachi, for Simisear, for the Nido Queen, if I want to guarantee that I hit the move, and for Mega Bayonet. And again, for Rhydon, if I think it's switching in. Earthquake, then Headbutt, Oko's for Virizion. It also does a huge amount of damage to Nido Queen. And finally we have Rock Climb, which basically 2-hit KOs anything which doesn't resist it, again, apart from Fizdef Blastoise, which I believe is going to come, but it will 3-hit KO, so he can't repeatedly switch into this thing, especially seeing as Blastoise does not have reliable recovery. Now, this is like my late game Wincon. If I think he's got a Scarfer, I have another Wincon, which is my Dr. Orpheus, and this can be used. Healing Wishes for just general usage. Psyshock does an absolute number on his team. Psychic Stab is very hard for him because his big threats, his Nidoqueen, his Virizion, well, he's got some big threats like the Nidoqueen, which do not want to take it. Psyshock over Psychic because it hits, it OKs Virizion, and it means that the Spadef floor just does not wall me quite convincingly. Energy Ball is to take on the Blastoise and the Rhydon, and Shadow Ball is there to hit the Mega Bayonet and the Jirachi. Reason why I'm packing Shadow Ball, big reason, is because my natural bulk is good enough so that I don't think I'm OK'd by anything except like a max special attack, like a max attack Shadow Claw from the Mega Bayonet. I need to double check my counts there, but the Shadow Ball should KO in revenge, and it's another thing which I can in effect trade for it. I mean, that's the aim really this week, is to have a lot of stuff which can just 2-hit KO a lot of his team, because I don't want to have a specific win con, because he can always Destiny Bond trade his Mega Bayonet for that if he sees one particular win con. Things I'm worried about again, the Kyurem. If that's Scarf Kyurem, I think I can play around it. Because if he locks himself into Earth Power, and I still have my Mesprit, which I need to conserve, then I can use my Mesprit. Mesprit speed is 7, outspeeds max speed. Nidoqueen in case that comes. And also means that it's not going to get speed crap by stuff like Florges, Blastoise, and other stuff like that. Also, it means like a min speed Jirachi won't, or like a no investment Jirachi won't outspeed it, which is nice because it can get a chunk off. And if he's running like an AV bulky Jirachi, I can Shadow Ball will deal decent damage to that. Like the aim is with this team is that I have a lot of stuff which can 2-hit KO most of his team. So Dr. Orpheus, Wide Whale, Emboar, and Manator. These can all put in a large amount of work, particularly if I remove his Fundai and his Bayonet. These are the things which can revenge stuff. Other than a Scarfer, the only Scarfer I can see coming really is Kyurem. Scarf Irizian doesn't do enough damage, and Scarf Jirachi. I mean, you could try and flinch my team to death, but I have a Mega Aggron and I have a Manaphy, so it's kind of potentially I don't see a Scarf Jirachi coming. I don't really see. I don't really think it's his best set against my team. But yeah, the aim is not to have like a one specific win con and try and set up that with a sweep. The aim is just to have a lot of things which put in work, because Mega Bayonet could be really, really disruptive. Again, Scarf Kyurem, I think I can play around it, because if he locks himself into Earth Power and I can set Mesprit, I can go over that. I think I've already mentioned this, and if not, this resists both his stabs, and even special Scarf, I can take a couple of hits. It's not ideal. I can take a couple of hits. If he locks himself into Ice Beam, this is also a very reliable switch in due to its AV and general physical bulk. Not to Dragon, this is also switching to Ice. So I've brought a lot of Mons, which I've only brought the one Ice Weak Mon, I've only brought the one Dragon Weak Mon. It's the same Mon, but it kind of limits Kyurem trying to do a number on my team. I don't have the Earth Power immunity. I've only got one Earth Power immunity, which is annoying, but hopefully I can play around that. I mean, it's non-stab. It's coming off base 130, so it's going to hurt, but hopefully stuff can live it. And yeah, it's a really terrifying team for me, matchup-wise. And I'd really like to go 4-0, but I think I've got the team to do it. Was going to bring Scarf Flygon at one point, just so I could ensure that I outspeed a Kyurem and can nail it with Outrage, but if he brings the Florges, it's really sort of hampered. Particularly, its raw power is quite poor, really. Like Scarf Outrage, unless I'm Adamant, but if I'm running Adamant, the whole point of bringing somebody to outspeed the Kyurem, it doesn't guarantee that it outspeeds the Kyurem anymore. So it has to be Jolly, and yeah, Earthquake does pretty well against his team, but it's not as powerful as you'd like. Coming off 299 attack. Okay, thanks very much, and I will, I hope the battle goes well, and everything else, bye. Oh, that was